the journalist's mind. I know what they want. I can only imagine what the organization's needs are. They're trying to help families, they're trying to feed the media, but at the end of the day, their crisis is happening right then and there. So if there's an opportunity for me to run interference for them or help them in some way, shape, or form, then that's what I do. And that may not come on that day or even the second day. It may be the third day, but that's what I would do in that particular situation.
It's a terrible thing to say that something like what we're talking about is what my job is about and what I live for. Because when something big and horrible happens, I'm on the front lines. I'm the one, and very much like Carlos, I'm the one that goes out there to the scene. And it used to be, before all the digital stuff, I took a notepad and a pen and maybe a camera, and I went back to the office afterwards and I wrote what I saw. Now it's a whole different thing. So I've got 2 phones. And so what I do is I go out there, the first thing I do is I start tweeting photos from the scene. Here's where I am, here's where the police have got us roadblocked, here's all these things. At some point, I shoot a selfie stand-up. I'm Teresa Apel, I'm with the Clarion Ledger, I'm on the scene of a situation where 130 people are dead, blah, blah, blah. We've got more, stay on clarionledger.com for more details. Again, continue tweeting, and what you end up finding is that your tweets and your Facebook posts become your notes. Because when you've got 2 phones, you're tweeting with one and taking video with the other, because you're going to go back to the newsroom and you're going to turn that video into a package that's going to go on your website. So you're driving video traffic, you're driving print traffic because you're going to write an article for it, and you're tweeting and using your social media the whole time. During this time, I'm looking for victims' families, I'm looking for law enforcement spokespeople. I'm trying to get exactly what's going on here because, as he said, there's a rumor mill out there, and you're going to see people on social media saying the most insane things you've ever heard. And to some extent, it is your job to say, no, I'm not seeing that out here, or whatever like that. Now, to some extent, the crazier they get, I would tell you don't engage. But that's, when you get to that scene, especially if it's just you, in a case that big, I would be the leader of a team of probably 2 or 3 of us who would, well, not 2 or 3, it'd probably be 3 or 4 of us at least, who would be hitting different points, because that would be something that would end up being a weeks-long story. But yeah, that's my day as the breaking news reporter, is when something like that happens, I go into full gear.
You remember when I mentioned credibility? Me being a senior account executive, that means that I'm out seeing new potential business to advertise on our station. Believe it or not, we get calls and say, hey, there's a killing. Anyone call your station and say anything about it? Well, at that point, what I would do is stop and call the station and tell them what's going on, what I'm hearing, what I got. Well, our station, Trump is not there. I kind of stand around and get as much information as possible. As soon as they show up, of course, I hit the streets and go back to selling.
My job, basically, I'm on the desk. So when all of this is breaking, when we have all of our crews out in the field, first thing I'm doing is I'm online trying to make sure I'm pronouncing these countries correctly, these names correctly. I'm Googling because I can mess up a word, I can mess up a name. I'm getting information from our producers. I'm reading Facebook and social media that our crews, any information that they're putting out. Because my job is to kind of be the filter. So maybe you're watching me on TV, then I'm tossing to our crew in the field. Or in the newsroom, they've gotten this new breaking information and they're bringing it to me on the desk and I'm presenting it to you. So in a perfect world, I come to work dressed and hair done and makeup done so that when this happens, I can run onto the set immediately and make it happen that I know it's happened. So you have to be camera ready and ready at all times, no matter what. Then on the flip side, I can be the one that's out with Carlos. Maybe they have Howard and Maggie on the desk and they need me to go with Carlos. So I'm in my heels and my red dress and my pearls in the backyard, climbing under the fence, doing whatever's necessary so I can get the information. While Carlos is shooting video, then I'm asking people what's happening, what's going on, so I'll know, so I can report back. And then at the same time, somewhere along the way, I still need to brush my hair so I look presentable to be on air. I'm trying to get information from police, I'm texting sources, I'm reading what she's writing on the Clarion Ledger so I can confirm it for myself so that we can report it. It's a whole lot of things that are going on. And then you have to be able to do more than one thing. not only is she a writer, but she's also shooting video. You know, not only is Carlos a photographer, he's also out getting information as well. Not only is Kenan the assistant news director, but he's also having to jump in and write stories as well. He's making phone calls. Nobody has just one job in the newsroom anymore.
By being a weekly newspaper, we have time. We have time to make sure we have all of our facts right. And what we have to be very, very sure when we write our stories, because so many people have already heard the breaking news prior to getting to our weekly edition, we have to make sure when we tell the story, we tell it at a different angle. We have to make sure we're not writing what someone has already written. So we have time to do that. But we do have an online daily edition. We have an online editor, and that online editor's job is to post the breaking news, get as much information possible, and turn it over to the writer that will be placing that story in our weekly newspaper. So it's very exciting listening to these other panelists, how they have to go out early, be ready, jump on the bushes with their cameras, etc. That's very, very exciting. We attend the press conferences, and we're looking at the headline news all the time, streaming on TV. But we do have the opportunity to get the facts right, get the story correct. So by the time we read it in our newspaper on Thursday, we are clear about what the story is. But we will break it on our website, and that is the job of our online editor. Thank you.
I'm glad it turned out the way I imagined it would. I did kind of take that risk there, but as a producer, like you hear about all these people, they're in the field, they're constantly calling for information. Well, in my position, I'm in the newsroom, so while they're fact checking and getting all these things right, I might be pulling something because I'm looking for a different angle as well. Like what's going to distinguish this station from that station? What's going to make it look different? How can we appeal to our social media other than doing an app pitch? So it all works together. Like Therese said, we're kind of all on the same team. We want to make sure that we get the information and get it to you right. So thank you so much for that. Do we have any questions from students?